Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to be making a super soft sourdough sandwich bread. Now to get started with our super soft sourdough sandwich bread, we are going to be using 150 grams of starter. Now the more starter you use, the faster your project is going to rise. So that's why we're using more, because I want somewhat of a quick rise. I am taking super warm water, about 100 degrees, and I'm putting in 300 grams, mixing that in, and then we're going to add 10 grams of salt, 50 grams of sugar, and then we're going to be doing 25 grams of oil. All right, so we're going to mix all of that together, and we're going to be putting 450 grams of bread flour. Now, we don't want this dough to be super sticky, so if you have high humidity in your house, you'll probably need a little bit more flour just to make it not so sticky. So you're just going to add it to the feel or touch that you like. If you are going to be adding any more flour than that, this is a little bit thin, so I'm going to add a tad more. So all in all, I probably put about an extra 20-ish grams or so. Do your 3 rounds of stretch and folds. And then once we're done with our stretch and folds, you're going to let that at least double. And then for this one, I'm going to laminate it. So we're basically going to lay it out in a rectangle and fold it in on itself. Now this recipe for the loaf is a 2-pound loaf. My Pullman loaf pans are for a 1-pound loaf, so we're going to be using the lid just until it begins to rise. And once your dough has risen to the lid of your pan, that's when it's going to be ready to bake. We're going to then create a new lid out of foil, because we don't want the top of our loaf to get too brown or crispy. We want this to stay a nice soft bread. So once your dough has reached the top of that pan, that's where we're going to go ahead and stick it in the oven. You're going to set your oven for 350 degrees, and we're going to bake this for about an hour. Now, I do not take my loaf out of the oven until my temperature is correct, and you want your temperature to be 200 degrees at least before it pulls out. All right, you definitely want your loaf to cool for 2 hours before you begin slicing it. Your loaf is still cooking while the steam is inside. So then you're just going to go ahead and slice your super soft sourdough sandwich bread and let your entire family enjoy it.